Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to go through my new vehicle, which is the Polestar 2. I've had this car for a week now and I thought I'd go through my first impressions, give you a bit of a walk around the car and show you some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like, just the general use of an EV vehicle from a complete newbie to driving electric vehicles. So I hope you find this video useful. If you do, give it a thumbs up and let's get on with it. So taking a look at the front of the car, I absolutely love how this car looks. It has got a pretty aggressive look to it, especially in the black, with all the blacked out grille and the badge. It's kind of got a very stealthy look to it, which I really enjoy. And I was a bit hesitant to get a black car, to be honest, but on the Polestar website the black version is the only one that is free, but they've actually just recently changed that. You actually now have to pay for the black version, which is called Void, I believe, on the website. I love these Thor hammer style lights, and I wasn't sure whether this wheel trim, the 19 inches, would be big enough for a car like this, but they fill the arches nicely, and to be honest, the ride in this car is quite firm. It can be quite firm. It's not uncomfortable by any means, but it's a firm ride. It's kind of a fairly sporty ride as well. So if you went for something that had larger wheels, you went for the Plus Pack with the larger 20 inches, I reckon the ride would be pretty uncomfortable. Not unmanageable, but it may be a little bit uncomfortable on longer rides. So I'm really glad I stuck with this pack, and this particular version is the long range, so it's got around about 250 miles from a full charge, and it's got the Plus Pack, not the Pilot Pack. So this has the upgraded stereo system, it's got the blacked out glass at the back. And again, from this side view you can see it's got a really nice, simplistic but sporty look to it, and the single light at the back looks awesome. And if you look down you can see it's got the wheels really nicely fill the wheel arch, so it doesn't look like the wheels are too small for this car. And the rear camera is nicely hidden and you can't really see it, but it's in there underneath here. And this model as well, I think on all the Polestars, have the option where you can kick the boot open by putting your foot underneath it, or there is a release switch here which you can press and the back opens up and you're presented with this nice large big boot, which is much bigger than the Range Rover I had before this, if you've seen my previous review. And it's got some nice 12 volt points here, some little places here where you can potentially tether things to, and it's got a ski rack as well, so you can push that through and put larger items through. And the first thing I did in this car actually was I actually had to go to the tip to take some stuff, and I managed to fill the car by taking the parcel shelf off. It was nice and easy. Got another tethering point here, and there's also a first aid kit. And this is great. So with this model you also get this thing that flips up here, which is perfect for putting your shopping in. Again, it's got some more tethering points, so you can put bags against this and stop it from rolling around, which is a problem I often have actually, which is great. And then underneath here you've got some even more storage, which is pretty deep actually, and you can put even more things underneath there. And just so you also know, here you can kind of lift this up, so you can keep it prodded up if you needed to, which is just a nice touch as well. And then you can also manage where this boot opens up. So one of the little things on here, if you need to adjust where the boot opens in case you're worried about it hitting a roof or something, you can actually press to close it, and you can actually lock it in place into a certain position. So now every time the boot opens, it'll only open to that position, and you can kind of, close it again from there. But yeah, that's a nice feature as well. The thought of lots of little things in this car. And at the back, keyless entry. So as long as you've got the key on you now, I've got a few things in the back here, but shouldn't prevent you from seeing stuff. So vents. There's also two USB Type-C ports and also rear heating as well for the seats, which is really, really nice. You don't see that often on cars, but it's great. It's got a flat area here. However, it has got the gearbox tunnel, which I didn't think most electric cars have. I thought it would be completely flat, but there is that in the middle. So the person who is sat in potentially in the middle here may have a bit of an uncomfortable leg journey, but actually it's a nice comfortable seats. I mean, at the back they've got this armrest as well that flips out with the cup holders, and it's got adjustable headrests as well. Well, it has actually for the middle person, but I don't know if the one at the back actually adjusts. No, they don't. Now, one thing you'll notice as well is at the back, the rear visibility isn't great because the way that the hood slopes down, it kind of covers the back. So if I just put the camera from where I would look through the back, you can see very limited visibility. So you will be relying on the reversing camera, which is excellent, but when you're driving along, you're not going to see much out the back. It's got a panoramic sunroof, which also is the option on the Plus pack, which I really wanted because this has got quite a dark cabin, and I went for the grey interior as well. Seats flip down, pressing the back here, and they do fold pretty flat. As I said, I used this to take a load of stuff to the tip, and it was great. It easily folds back in place and clicks. So let's head, by the way, this is what you see on the side of the door, some nice detailing, speaker. This has got the upgraded Harman Kardon stereo, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. The wing mirrors, you'll notice, are frameless. They look really, really nice. So heading into the car now. And again, we have got fully electric seats. They are very comfortable seats. Bit concerned that this grey colour might get dirty over time, but I've got this on a lease for 3 years. Got some nice detailing here. Again, very, very comfortable seats. And on the door, again, it's got this kind of black. I've got some dust on here, but metal. Again, very touchy-feely, nice material. Harder plastic down here. Memory seats as well. And yeah, it's just moving inside. So got this nice steering wheel with some easy to use buttons on the top, and got the Harman Kardon badging for the speaker there. Again, this kind of frameless mirror, which is really nice, and this huge tablet, which we'll talk about in a lot more detail. Now, here is this kind of built up area which they've kind of made for this console. So you've got this really cool gearbox. I say gearbox, it's more of a controller for putting the car in reverse and drive. And there's no handbrake, so you just press P to stop it, which again I'll talk to you more about. And then this is a nice volume control, which is nice and tactile to control the volume stereo, so you don't have to worry about pressing things on the screen while you're driving. You can control these things manually and pause and play your music. Hazard warning, heated windows, heated rear window, and all the material across here is very nice and touchy-feely. It's nice and squidgy, feels really, really high quality. The interior on here is excellent. It is so well built. It is brilliant. It's a very, very nice place to be. And little glove box here, not too big. We do have cup holder storage, and you notice how this is slid forward at the moment, but I can slide that back to reveal this cup holder, and if I press the button here, you can swing this all the way back, so you've got lots of space, and then you've got another large cup holder here, so you can put things in, which is really nice. The door bins have got reasonably small areas which are lined, so they don't rattle around, but you'll be struggling to get a bottle in there. It's limited space. And I'll just pop the front of the car open by pressing this lever. So I pop the front, you can see there's a slight opening now, and if I lift that up, you'll see under here there's a yellow little flap. If you press that, the car latch will open, and here you've got the frunk, as they call it, which has got the cables in it, which comes with the car, a warning triangle, and inside here there is a repair kit for the tyre, but there's also a tyre pump, which is an electric pump to pump the tyre up as well, which is really nice to include that. And the only thing you've got here is a water reservoir for the for the windows, and that is it. So you could use this as a little bit of storage if you needed to, but there's not a lot of space in here. That's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into my week's experience of having this car. So I'm going to go through things like the overall design, the things I liked, the things I disliked, and how I found it to charge the vehicle for the first time. Bearing in mind, I am a completely new user to an electric vehicle. I've had diesel vehicles in the past, so this was a completely new experience to me. So I want to pass that on to you so you know what it'll be like in case you're a bit concerned about getting a vehicle like this as well. So first of all, the design, I absolutely love it. The car is stunning. It gives you a really nice feeling every time you see it. It's a bit unusual as well. Now, where I live, there's a lot of Tesla Model 3s around, and I didn't want a Tesla Model 3 just purely for that reason. I wanted something a little bit different, and I have noticed this is a bit of a head turner as a result, because there aren't many of these Polestar 2s around. So if you want something a little bit different, I do recommend this. Yes, the Tesla Model 3 has got slightly longer range, has got a few more extra features that you might like, but for me, I prefer the design of this. I like this kind of minimalist interior look. I like the fact that the outside is completely different to anything else on the road. So for me, that's a massive plus. Inside, the interior is amazing. It is such high quality material, very, very tactile. They've put a lot of effort in just thinking about very, very simple things that I like in the design. And I love that. I love the driving experience as well, because it makes being in this vehicle a nice place to be, especially if you're going to be on a long journey. Going from a diesel Range Rover into this was a bit of concern, because I was worried about the driving height. I'm a short person, 5'5", and I love the Range Rover driving position, that kind of SUV height. It was amazing. I loved the comfort, and I love the ride quality. Moving from something like that to this has got a slightly higher ride than a normal saloon, so you'll notice that it's slightly jacked up off the road, and that is perfect if you're transitioning from something in between a normal saloon and an SUV. It sits somewhere in the middle, so I found that the driving height for me is great. I do miss that slightly higher ride height, because I think it's just great for when you're driving long journeys and that visibility, but it's not going to be missed because of purely for the performance from this car. Now let's talk about performance. This car is super, super quick. I've never driven anything like it. I drove a track day R8, Audi R8 once, and this has got the same 0 to 60 time, which is pretty amazing. So you'll be blown away by the performance of this car. There is nothing else to say about it. It is super, super fast. It is a shock to the system the first time you use it, but that's great, and I think that's something that you'll be excited about every time you get in the car. So I'm just driving at, well, just over 70 miles an hour, and the cabin is incredibly quiet. It's very relaxing in here. A little bit of road noise is pretty much what you hear, and some of the wind resistance against the wing mirrors, but other than that, it's very, very quiet. And it's probably the quietest drive I've ever had in a car. Feels very comfortable, nice to cruise along on a long journey. So if you're into your long journeys, and providing that the battery is going to sustain your type of journey, this is a great car to drive. But it's also great for these short journeys as well, because the way the unit charges and because of how efficient it is. If you're doing very, very short journeys, you're going to save yourself a lot of money compared to driving a large diesel. Might be comparable to a very small petrol engine, but you're not going to get the performance you get for something like this. This has also got the four-wheel drive system, so on wet roads you're going to feel very, very secure trying to put that power down. I did look into the two-wheel drive model, but I figured with this much power, it's got over 400 brake horse. If you want to accelerate really quickly, if you want to leave, at a junction, having that safety is kind of paramount to be able to apply this power. So that's really great as well. This car kind of corners really flat, so you don't feel any body roll at all, and you feel very, very planted. That's probably because of the weight of the batteries and the way they've been distributed, but it's got a very comfortable drive. It is quite firm compared to, again, some of the cars I've had in the past. It's more like my Audi A5 kind of drive feel to it, but it's got a little bit of bounce as well because the suspension is slightly jacked up. I really love the apps. I really like the fact that you've got this kind of easy to use operating tablet, because I've got a Google phone, so moving from that into this is great. The sat nav is fantastic, because something like Google Maps on a journey just makes things very, very easy. It tells you where all the charging points are, so you don't have to worry about it as well. And when you're running low on charge, it does say to you, do you want to find a charging place? And it gives you information on the screen, which again is very, very helpful. So that's great as well. The other really nice positives about this car is the fact that the Polestar have got their own application. So this application allows you to see the current battery capacity, but it also lets you lock or unlock the car. It also acts as a digital key, and it also allows you, which I think is the awesome thing, is during the winter or in peak summer, you can switch the climate control on. So when the car is plugged in to its charging point, you can switch on the air conditioning, or you can switch on the heating and actually have the car pre-warmed with its heated steering wheel, heated seats, and get the climate up to, I think it's 21 degrees or 22 degrees it heats up to. So it's a really nice feature, especially if you're someone that has to get up really early to go to work or drive a long journey, that the car is preheated, which I think is a great thing. And this car also has the battery heat pump as well, so you'll get better performance out of this particular version with the heat pump, and have the battery have full capacity and be able to charge easier if you're going to use an external charger or you're out on the road. So let's briefly talk about charging. I'm not going to go into battery capacity and all that kind of stuff, but there's plenty of people who have done videos on that, and I haven't had this car long enough to talk about that. But from my experience, from going from, I said, a standard car to actually charging this vehicle up, I had the car, it came to me on a flatbed with 80% of the battery charge. And with that, I said, I kind of I've done a few journeys on that. When I went to charge it yesterday, which was the first time I charged it, I use a pod point charger, and that was super easy to get that installed, and it's a nice simple system because there's no buttons or anything. I simply plugged it into the car, and the car actually has a green light to show you that it's charging, and actually the dash also shines up in green as well, so you can see that glowing. And then the charge system will automatically, tablet will switch to the charging mode and show you how much charge is coming into the battery. And what's great is that if you sat outside your house or you're somewhere else, you can also see on the app how much charge the battery's got. So I left that to charge overnight, and that's been great. And I've got it set to the standard system of charging up to 90% of the battery, and that's been a great experience for me. So what don't I like about this car? So what I found is it's got a couple of really annoying things, which I think is a real shame, especially for the price of this car. The first thing is that I paid for the Plus pack, which comes with the upgraded Harman Kardon audio system. Now, I like that because I've got lots of audio over the years that I've downloaded in very, very high quality onto USB. And on all my cars, I've been able to play that. I've got some unusual tracks, things from vinyl, etc. that I like to play. So I pay for this premium audio system with the idea that I'll be able to play my music really, really loud and enjoy that music. However, on this new Polestar 2, you only get the functionality to be able to use things like Spotify or YouTube Music. And for me, that is ridiculous. The fact that this car has got 4 USB-C type sockets, yet you can't play any music, is ridiculous. And what it means is all the music that you stream is never of a high enough bit rate to enjoy the speaker system in this car. So I'm really disappointed with that. And there is some kind of, someone's created a USB player. I've tried using it, it doesn't work for me. Maybe other people have got more luck, but if you do know anything about that, please leave it in the comments, a way if I can play any of my USB tracks or some better software out there. So I am really disappointed with Polestar by the fact that you can't play USB. I understand not having a thing like a CD player because that's a bit out of date now, but not being able to play a USB-C type of recording device when you've got 4 USB-Cs in the car already, and it's literally a computer, it doesn't make any sense. The only other gripe that I've got is that on the website, when you order this vehicle, it shows on all the pictures of the actual illuminating lights that kind of go around the back and the front illuminates. And I thought, oh cool, that's a standard feature, because it doesn't mention anywhere on the website that that is something that you have to pay extra for. So when I bought this car, I thought it's just a standard feature. However, I contacted support because when I got the car, I thought I'm doing something wrong. The lights just seem to be just glowing. And they said, oh, that's only available with the Pilot Plus pack. And that's really disappointing because they should have put that on the website. I know it's not a real deal breaker, it's just a nice thing to have, but it is quite a cool thing to have, and I really liked it. I like the fact that when it's charging, you have this kind of pulsating light. So I did like that, and I was a bit disappointed the fact that it didn't come standard with that. Very quick point to mention is that another downside that could be a potential problem if you're a taller driver, I'm 5'5", and you can see my knee touches this piece of plastic that sticks out the side. Now they've built this to kind of give you this nice overall look, but what happens is it kind of intrudes onto your leg space. Now for me, it's just touching the top of my knee, which could get a little bit sore after a long journey, but I think I'll be okay. However, if you're a taller driver or someone slightly bigger than me with big legs, you might find this to be a bit of a problem because it's going to be constantly hitting the side of this plastic. So just something to be aware of. So overall, this car has been awesome. My first week of having it. I said I'll do a longer review once I've had this for a bit longer, for a month or so, but this is a great experience to drive it. I'm super excited to have an EV, and I think this has been a great way into it, having something that looks like a normal car, doesn't look like anything crazy, it's not got any weird design. It's very, very understated, and it's got that super performance, and it's incredibly comfortable as well. I feel very happy in this car, and I feel like I've transitioned very easily into this particular version of this vehicle. I think that the performance, I don't think I'm ever going to get bored of it, and I think the build quality is going to hopefully last. So my overall opinion on this Polestar from my first week is it's really, really good. I'm a bit disappointed with a couple of the things I mentioned, especially about the USB music playback, but other than that, they're kind of minimal things I'm sure I'll get used to, and hopefully Polestar might bring out some sort of update on the app. One thing to mention on that is that all the updates on this vehicle are done over the air, so you get it's kind of connected to the internet automatically, and it's also got Wi-Fi capabilities as well, so you can get over-the-air updates, which means the car is constantly being improved as things get changed, and battery updates and various other things that they do, which is nice to see that they keep you up to date with all the latest stuff they're doing. So you're not going to get lumbered with a vehicle that's going to be out of date. As soon as they got an update, they put it over the air, and then you'll get that update in your car, which is again another plus that I also like about this vehicle. So yeah, I hope it's going to be a great car for me, and I'm going to keep this for the next obviously 3 years. But if you got any comments or questions or anything you want to know about the vehicle, let me know in the comments. If you found this video useful, and hopefully you found it informative, I've been as honest as I can, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you on the next video.